Capricorn, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late April, moving into early May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Capricorn collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Cappies in late April, early May? It is Taurus season, my good friends. Lovely time of year. But let's see what energy, messages, insights we could take a little peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cappy in late April, early May. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. All right, the deck is being a little particular this week. Usually your oracle card pops out real quick. Everyone knows I like to read the jumpers. Very dreamy, very watery type of energy. And I don't dislike it. It could actually be really, really good for a large portion of you. There's an etheric quality to it that I really enjoy. And I often see this around water signs, actually. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. I actually haven't seen it in a while, but we see this lovely lady dressed in purple. She has a little mask on, all these little hot air balloons and little pieces of art strewn about. So to me, yeah, it just feels very imaginative, like dreamland and such. So in the positive sense, this could be getting those creative juices flowing. So whether it's creative problem solving, thinking outside of the box, different forms of emotional and artistic expression, highly, highly favored here. Whatever it is you're dealing with, maybe Spirit wants you to get creative about your approach to it, instead of like being rigid or structuring it. Now, this card does also have its drawbacks, right? Because sometimes it could be a little too much in its head. It could be a little overthinky. So watch out for that. For some of you, this could just literally be dreamland, right? So maybe you're receiving some information via dreams, or Spirit wants you to keep an eye on stuff like that. I'm a big believer and fan of dream journals, but I like it for the most part. It's just very watery and creative. So that could be good, unless you're just a little more head in the clouds than usual. But we're going to let her chill over there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the Capricorn collective. What's going on in late April, early May? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Yeah, there was like a wall being built energetically. The reading was titled A Big Rejection. And to me, it kind of felt like how a bouncer screens people before getting into a bar or a club. It was so specific. So again, it doesn't mean like you're rejecting everything that comes your way or that you're getting rejected. For some of you, it could have just been a habit, a behavior, a thought process. It's like I'm screening things before allowing them in too close. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Capricorn. What's happening? All right, quick. Very first shuffle, one pops out. 4 Pentacles. All right, really good for anything financial, money, worldly. And we'll get into all the deeper aspects of that. I like the 4 Pentacles for that. But when we get to the more emotional stuff, that's where we want to watch out. It's a bit of a neutral card, right? So I'm not mad about it, but I'm not super thrilled. Okay, now we have the 3 of Cups. Cool. That's looking good. Put that right there. Could just be a circle of influence around you. Let's get one more here, and we'll start piecing this together. Quick, super quick. All right, 7 of Wands. Yeah, there's that little wall again. It's all good, though. So we have a nice little mixture of things going on here, I'd say. For some of you, these could be totally different situations. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to just take a quick look at the elements, because I feel like that frames the reading and tells us how the energy is going to flow. And luckily, we have 3 different elements in the main part of the spread, which is good. Because usually if we have too much of one element, the reading could get a little lopsided or heavy. But we have earth, water, fire. Nice. Earth, that's your power element. That's your comfort zone. I think of internal stability and security security when we get a lot of earth energy. It could represent routine, day-to-day life. Think of money, work, business, finances, investments, home, and family. So earth energy represents the world that we live in, and especially our day-to-day life. The downside to earth, sometimes it could be a little too stuck or set in its ways. So just watch out for energy like that, or something that's not moving how you like it. In the center, we have the watery energy showing up once again. Beautiful. That's the internal realm, matters of the heart, matters of emotion, things, people that we're emotionally invested in or care about. And yeah, water does represent the partnerships for sure. And it's also artistic and creative, just like we spoke about with the Oracle card. The only downside to water is that sometimes it could get a little overwhelming, right? Water is always like the tides, it's coming in and out, it's waxing and waning. So, this is something that could sometimes be hard to pin down. On the back end, we have fire, the realm of action, the actions that you take, the actions other people take. So, it's funny, like we have these energies that represent the outer world, and this is the inner. Now, when it comes to fire, it could be health, vitality, energy levels. So, whether you're feeling really good, have a nice burst of energy, maybe you're feeling a little lower, like you're burning the candle at both ends. It's all good. The downside to fire is that there's an unpredictability to it, right? Fire can be volatile, fire can be explosive. So, we need to keep an eye. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the Four of Pentacles. Now, I know I already started speaking about this card. I like it because of the neutrality. And we see this individual there clamped on to that pentacle, not letting go whatsoever. So, again, this is great for money, work, business, finances, actually saving and increasing the material aspects of life. So, if you've been having any stress in that realm, this is a very good sign. I like it. It's like putting pentacles away, it's saving. Sometimes this could show up when one's about to make a big purchase of some kind. Not saying that you're all doing it, but it can be. The downside to the Four of Pentacles is when we get into the interpersonal relationships, right? Because this is an energy that's not quite letting go of something. Now, I'm not going to say that this is worst case scenario. Like, yes, can it be jealousy? Sure. Can it be possessiveness? Absolutely. Yeah, there is that little energy of like, I'm not letting go of this that we do want to keep a very close eye on. So we'll circle back on it for sure. But again, we're going to take it as neutral for now. If it's a money thing, we're loving it. Now, moving to the middle, we have a totally different dynamic. And that's why I said, like, all these things we're looking at here could be totally different aspects of life. Right? We got the material here. And moving to the center, we have the Three of Cups. And we see these people, they're lifting up a toast, they're having a good time. Now, this card is another one that gets misunderstood. So when we have like the Four of Pentacles and the Three of Cups, these cards get a rough reputation. I love this. To me, this is a card of wins and victories. These people are celebrating for a reason. So you might have a win of some kind. Could it be monetary? Could it be something else? We'll just have to see. Now, all threes can also represent group dynamics, more than one, more than two. So whether it's home, like family members, co-workers, circle of friends. This card could be asking us to hone in on a very particular person where their energy could show up. But again, normally it's just very lighthearted and having a good time and celebrating. So this could be a really good piece. The downside to the Three of Cups, sometimes it can overindulge. Sometimes it can overdo it, over celebrate, right? Don't count the chickens before they hatch. It's a card that can party it up quite a bit. So again, nothing wrong with having a good time, but this card can be excessive. So you see what I mean? We have this card that's a little rigid, then we have this card that's a little excessive. We have two different things happening. On the back end, we have the Seven of Wands, and we see our little friend here. Looks like he's standing and fending a whole bunch of people off here. So that's that wall-like energy I was picking up last week. Very protective, very territorial. Now, the good thing about the Seven of Wands, can't stop, won't stop type of energy. I refuse to quit. I refuse to give up. I've set my mind on something and I will follow through. So I love that. That's a big Capricorn trait, if you ask me. The determination. It's nice. Again, aside from seeing something through, it can be a little dicey too, because this card can also represent conflict. Could sometimes be anger. Sometimes it's a little pushy or a little too aggressive. So we do want to look into this further for sure. Seven of Wands could also sometimes represent feeling cornered, feeling trapped. And that doesn't have to be a worst case scenario. It could just be like cabin fever or monotony, especially with all this stuff on the back ends. But we need to see, because sometimes it can be a little pushy or aggressive or angry. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Capricorn. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Four of Pentacles. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Capricorn, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's get that Four of Pentacles going. Nice, quick. Okay, this is like a tough nut to crack. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. So we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. It does feel very scorpionic to me. Now the Queen of Cups can absolutely just represent any water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. She is that watery energy, very similar to what we had in the front end of the reading. But it doesn't have to be a specific person. She does deal heavily with emotions and feelings. So when I see the Four of Pentacles with the Queen of Cups in reverse, it's like I'm putting this here, I'm locking the door, and no one's ever getting in. Right? Not necessarily like there's an icebox where my heart used to be, but it's like there's something I'm feeling, and I'm just going to keep it in here for now. It does feel a little bit like suppression. Now, again, I'm not saying that's you. This could be someone where it's very difficult, like you try to ask a question and they skirt around it, or it's just someone that has a big, difficult time opening up. Now, no judgment here if this is an energy that you're holding, but absolutely when I see the Four of Pentacles with this Queen of Cups, it's like I'm still bothered by something, or I have an emotion and I'm pushing it down, down, down. Now, I always believe that with suppression, at some point that energy will come forth, right? Sometimes with her in reverse, it could be like an emotional eruption or an emotional explosion of some kind. So watch out for that, where it's like the pot boils over. But I think that would be like worst case scenario. To me, I'm just getting a lot of suppression, holding on to something and pushing it down, where it's just an energy where it's hard to get a straight answer, or to like, hey, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? This energy doesn't open up easily. So we're going to keep moving. We're not going to pry, right? Because the energy itself, it's like, don't pry. Just, I'm not saying nothing, keeping it zipped up. All right, we won't pry. Let's keep going over to the Three of Cups. Maybe we'll get our answers anyway. So why is that Three of Cups here? And again, remember, these could be different things. So why is that Three of Cups in the mix? Quick, super quick. Okay. And the Nine of Wands played a huge role in last week's reading, but now we see it in reverse underneath this Three of Cups. Can this be a breakthrough of some point, of some kind? Absolutely, it can. And I've been seeing that for a couple different signs over the past couple of weeks. So it seems like you might be up to bat, my friends. When I see the Nine of Wands, this wounded warrior with the wall in reverse, either one, it's an energy that's having a really good time, having fun, and starting to open up. So that's good, especially when we go from this clamp down, shut down type of energy. Three of Cups, Nine of Wands is like, I'm just going to let it all hang out. I'm going to let loose. And I think it's good. It's having a really great time. So if you've been going through difficulties or difficult times, maybe Spirit wants you to have fun, do whatever it is. Again, you don't have to go out there and party. This could just be having some time in nature, doing some arts and crafts, or just doing things that you enjoy. It could even, yeah, like a hobby. But the main overarching energetic theme I'm picking up here is this clamp down, push down energy. And then boom, we have this breakthrough where it's like pulling a slingshot back and letting go. That's how this feels. So I think that's good. I think it's claimable. Can this be an easy win for some of you as well? Absolutely. If we take away that breakthrough message, this could be something where like things just seem to fall into place, where it's like, okay, well, I was just minding my own business, and this win victory, it came in. It feels pretty easy, actually. So we're going to keep moving. I like it. I think it's claimable for sure. But let's go in on the Seven of Wands. We'll see what that has. Yeah, that's very peculiar how the energy is like so clamped down and then fully wide open in the center. But I'll take it. I'll take it as long as things don't bubble over, right? So let's go in on that Seven of Wands, please. Why is it here? Thank you. Magician in reverse. All right. Now, this does get a little frustrating, a tad frustrating. So we have the Magician in reverse underneath this Seven of Wands. Usually the Magician is a very spiritual card, very intuitive card. This could be somebody taking actions or doing things against what their intuition is telling them to do. So, I know in life, sometimes we do the logical thing, sometimes we go with our gut. When I see the Seven of Wands with the Magician in reverse, it's like I'm ignoring that and I'm just doing this. So it's like somebody going with a logical approach. Now, if we put that message to the side, the Magician can sometimes represent control. So we have this little odd stutter step of energy where it's like clamp down, push down, wide open, and then back again. So it's like back and forth and up and down. And we're closed, we're open, we're closed again. It's like very odd how this energy shows up. Now, does it shut down to the point that we have in the front? I wouldn't say that. The magician, in its best form, especially in reverse, aside from the manifesting, it's one of those vibes where it's like spirit take the wheel. Like whatever happens, happens. I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm not gonna fight against the current. So again, I'm knowing that Capricorn is generally an action-based Earth sign, that might go against your better judgment, where it's like, no, I have to do something. I have to do something. I have to make an effort here. Seven Wands Magician in reverse is kind of like letting go of the wheel and just letting something do what it's going to do. So again, we still have this beautiful breakthrough, but the energy seems to recoil a little bit, but not all the way back to where it was. I'm getting hyper specific. Again, only take this how it hits for you. It's a very intriguing energetic profile. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. So we got a lot of things happening here, Cappy. Position number one, we got the Four of Pentacles with the Queen of Cups in reverse. This big suppression. I'm going to put something down and I'm not letting it out. This could be a person that's a little difficult to get their true thoughts, feelings, emotions. It's really difficult to open up for some reason. I did say potentially this could be something that boils over, like an emotional bubble over or an explosion. But we do have a good breakthrough right here in the center. We have the Three of Cups with the Nine of Wands. That could either be a very easy win or just a big breakthrough in one area of life, because I feel very happy about it. So it's like closed for business, fully wide open for business. Maybe not. There's like this little second guessing when we get to the back end, because the Seven of Wands has the Magician in reverse. I did say this does feel like not release, but acceptance, taking, letting go of the wheel, so to speak, just letting something do what it's going to do. But there is this odd little do-si-do or back and forth with the energy where it's like closed, open, closing the door again. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got? Yeah, I mean, I think the energy overall seems pretty nice, like in the main part of the spread, especially the breakthrough. Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords showing up in the shadows. Now, this could be an air sign you're connected to, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I always say knights are messengers, but they're also action-based. And what is the Knight of Swords? The fastest one, the most determined one. I have to do something, and I have to do it now. I have to take control of this. If I don't have control, watch out. That's what this energy usually tells me. And it kind of mirrors the opposite of what we have here on the back end. Now, the good thing about the Knight of Swords is the determination and the speed at which it moves. So again, with the energy of a potential win or breakthrough coming in, the Knight of Swords could be very good. But at the same time, this energy can be a little pushy. So that's something to watch out for. So whether you're dealing with a person that's a little too pushy, whether it's a situation that starts moving too quick, I feel a little flustered when this card pops out. So again, watch out for anything that just moves too quickly. So we're going to put that Knight of Swords down right there, my good friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the April subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice winner's choice once again. At the end of the month, I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to either win their choice of the Gilded Tarot Royale or one of the custom-made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So winner's choice. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, you can let me know down in the comments, how much do you know about the meanings of tarot cards? Are you an expert reader? Are you a beginner, intermediate? Do you know a lot? Do you know a little? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. YouTube changed it. And yeah, that's where it'll be, my friends. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.